are a public international organization based in Riga, Latvia. I'm based in Helsinki region, Finland, so I will be talking from the, I would say, Nordic and Baltic approach to creative cross innovations, and actually how we see it at the NDPC. So my small input will be about the concept of the creative cross innovations, how we approach it, and then I will share some elements that I think are part of these cross innovative actions, and then a case example, and then conclude with some considerations when initiating a collaboration like this. But first, I would like to start a bit with why creative cross innovations are needed. This picture is from innovation house Sitra, who provides these megatrends that actually influence all of the world. And of course, here in the middle of it, the climate crisis and ecological crisis, but then the challenges and crises of various sorts that we are challenged by. And I would say that many artists and creatives are expanding their practices to be able to work in collaboration with other sectors for sustainability, to somehow be part of tackling this crisis and giving their professional capacities and possibilities in a meaningful way. And it's very limited what can be done only by remaining in the realm of arts and culture. So this stepping towards collaboration with other sectors is needed, so that here when Sitra is not only talking about the megatrends, but future opportunities, I think the artists and creatives, there is more and more curiosity and willingness to work for these future opportunities. And at this point, it's always good to note that these opportunities that we think about, creative cross collaborations, cross innovations, it's not an approach that would fit all artists and creatives, but we think it can be important and a good possibility for many, for them who feel attraction and willingness to step into new forms of collaborations. So what is creative cross innovations? Well, at the NDPC, we think that this creative, it's part of our creative field, arts, culture, creative actors, and that's why we talk about creative cross innovations in particular. And we think about it as a collaborative process where professionals from the arts, culture, and creative fields share their expertise, methods, and creative approaches, and cross over in unseen ways to other sectors and industries of the society. And these sectors can be, for sure, public entities as municipalities, cities, regions, and more. And they can be private companies and various industries. It can be also NGOs and third sectors. But it's somehow this stepping out from one's own traditional creative field that makes the difference here. And of course, it's good to note here that we don't have a definition for cross innovations. We can have different disciplines, or what we think about creative cross innovations. There, it's not set in stone. It's a discussion and elaboration and ongoing discussion, which is impacted by the ones who take part of it. Some examples of cross-innovative practices, and of course the boundaries and borderlines are blurry, and also blurry to think what is cross-collaboration and what is cross-innovation. So that would be, we would need another webinar for that. But here in the middle of these examples is a dancer working in an elderly home for the well-being of the residents. And I wanted to point out this example because we can see already that the arts and culture has come into and partnered up with the health and social and well-being sector. And this practices are becoming more and more acknowledged and established in the European context when we think about policies, strategies, fundings, all kinds of practices, how this understanding and awareness about the impact and possibilities of arts and culture in well-being, it has been acknowledged and understood. And I want to highlight, I see it, that we are talking about one strand of cross-innovation and cross-collaborative practices, a great strand because it's already much more established than maybe the one examples that we are giving in this webinar. But I see it as a part of the same tree. We are looking about how arts and culture creative actors bring and enable new kinds of value, something outside the traditional arts and culture realm. And here I would also invite you and encourage to have a look at the NDPC policy brief on arts and design-based collaboration and cross-innovation practices. And you can find it on our website, knowledge part. Some key elements that I think are connected to cross collaborations and cross innovations. It's about the artist and creative professional coming into collaboration with professionals from other fields outside the culture and creative sector and formatting some kind of novel form of collaboration. It's maybe unseen. Of course, nothing is completely unseen and novel. We always build a practice and history and tradition and are influenced. But there is this maybe openness to form a new form of collaboration. But what is very essential is this joint goal for wanted change. So there is an acknowledged goal. Some success factors that I think is part of this practice is it's about formatting an eye-level collaboration of artists and creatives with professionals from other fields. So it's not only about having the arts and culture as a cherry on the top, but there is a new kind of eye-level collaboration and aim for developing and aim of somehow getting influenced and openness of what this kind of collaboration can bring. I see a joint mission with a clear reason for the collaboration. It's not a blurry experimentation, but it has actually, even though it can be experimenting, but it has a joint goal. And then that the artistic and creative expertise have an essential role and included in foundations of the process. So we see sort of early on that it's something that is established from very beginning, or it has a fundamental role. And then this novel and unseen formats of cross-disciplinary collaboration processes. So it might be something completely new. I want to share one case study. This is Iina Taijonlahti, a dancer and choreographer who worked with one of our biggest technology houses in Finland, Portrays. And Iina and Portrays came into collaboration, especially for developing this Momo robot, a humanoid robot. And Portrays wanted to develop it in a manner that it would be, how would I say, a positive interaction with humans. So not to be repulsive or full of fear, but how to make the connection with the robot and human something pleasant. And the coders and developers of this robot invited Iina to join the developing team because as a dancer, as a bodily expert, she could interact with Momo and interpret for the coders what they should change and develop further. So interpret the experience and what is needed. And I think this is a great example because what else kind of expert, who else than an artist like a dancer, choreographer could contribute with this special expertise needed. But to conclude what to take in consideration when initiating this kind of cross-innovative practices, I think we need to create means for an eye-level collaboration. and define the joint goals and the big why. We need to elaborate the motivations and roles and responsibilities of the different parties and discuss the expectations and adjust them to reality so that they also match the available resources. And then we need to see, could there be an intermediary party, or who is taking part of the developing and producing, facilitation of the collaboration, documenting, communicating, and evaluating its value, and also develop the future prospects. And to build trust, the more we have experimenting, the more we need to be able to develop trust, because that is where this risk taking and experimenting